What up, geekdom? This is Chipmunk. I wanted to do a quick review on the movie Sting. Um, yeah, this is going to be no spoilers for this movie, and I'm gonna try my best to make this really, really quick because I don't have a lot to say on it. But yeah, as far as the plot of the movie goes, it follows a young girl who finds a spider. She raises the spider. The spider gets like huge and then takes out everyone in this apartment complex that she's staying in. So that's the basics of the story. Basics of the story. The young girl, she has a family that's living in this apartment complex, and the apartment complex is a raggedy apartment complex. She stays there with her mom, stepdad, and her little baby. I want to say it was brother. I can't remember if it was brother or sister, but the little baby. So their family of four. The grandmother, her grandmother lives in an apartment as well, but not in the same apartment, but in the same apartment complex. And her aunt is running the apartment complex, and she's horrible as hell. And yeah, she is cheap and will find every way to make this whole place, the whole apartment, run cheaply. So I want to throw that in there to try to explain some of the stuff that I didn't like with the film and what I did like with it. So I needed to let y'all know exactly what that the family dynamic is. But yeah, the movie is pretty cool. It's not a horrible movie. It's not one of my. I'm not a big crazy fan of it, but it's good for a watch. It has comedy. It has the horror aspects and stuff. There's even a reference from Aliens. I believe it kind of felt like Aliens to me in the reference and stuff that they were doing. So it's a lot of fun and crazy moments with this. But yeah, the fun parts, the funny parts were with the grandmother. The grandmother is suffering severely with Alzheimer's. Like she's suffering heavily, but she does a lot of hilarious stuff in the movie. So yeah, she was one of my favorites as far as the film goes, because she brings that lightheartedness into the film a bit. What I didn't like about the film, I'm gonna just say it's like the characters and stuff I didn't too much care for besides the grandmother. As far as just like I ain't care about her a lot, but I thought she was funny. Everyone else was just dislikable for me. Even the main character, which was the daughter, the young girl that we follow, who was raising the spider. The I wasn't too much a big fan of her character, how she acted. Her acting wasn't bad, but how like she acted towards her stepfather and stuff like that, or just how they had her portrayed in the film, I wasn't a big fan of. But she was supposed to be one of those characters that kicks ass in a movie, but she wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't like the mother neither. The mother got on my nerves a lot. The father, I didn't too much. Well, the stepfather, I didn't too much care about, but I was very sympathetic for. I was like, this is a very sympathetic character because of what he's trying to do and what he's struggling through, and I can definitely understand the situation and understand exactly what he's going through, and understand what happens in the movie happens with the movie. And I'm like, he's getting a lot of hate and stuff in the movie, and I'm like, I felt so bad for him. There's another character I felt sympathetic for, and it was a neighbor of theirs who lost her family before she, goes off. Like, she drinks a lot, and I can understand her pain and her frustration and what she's going through. So she was another very sympathetic character. But yeah, like all these characters weren't like crazy likable for me, and that's the thing that I disliked with it. But yeah, you had like two characters that were like the comedy part. You can say that the aunt was kind of comedy, but she wasn't like it like funny situations more than she was just like funny. But she was very dislikable because she's the one you're supposed to hate in the film anyway. So, but yeah, it wasn't it wasn't a bad film. It was enjoyable, and again, that's just my opinion on the family. You may feel differently when it comes to the family when you watch it, because again, everyone's gonna have their own takes when it comes to characters, the character work, and stuff like that for this. So that's just my take on it. It's just how I feel with the family and stuff goes. But the film wasn't bad. I think it does deserve what Rotten Tomatoes gave it, a good tomato. I think it deserves a good tomato, but I don't think it was like one of the best films to say. It's like as far as just one of the greatest. I'd say it was better than a couple other like horror films that came out at the beginning of the year. So it was way better than a lot. Like it was enjoyable enough to watch that you could sit through and just watch it and not feel like bored. But for me, it's a one time watch. I wouldn't too much go back to it and watch it again unless it was just on TV and I just was watching it. But it's not something that I would search again and look for. But it was good for what it was. But I think everyone should watch it. I think it was just enjoyable just to watch. There's a lot of there was some stuff that I thought would have been very controversial that I wish they would have stuck with, but they did it in the film. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, it's some stuff that happened that would have been very controversial that horror films usually don't do. And there was a horror film that did it. I didn't get to watch it, but I do have it saved. But I know a lot of people were talking about it, and it was very brutal as far as just the horror film and stuff goes. And yeah, I was like, in the controversy of the brutality of who it was on is the craziest thing, because horror films usually don't go after those type of characters. I'm just leave it at that. But I'm always good for a good shock factor because I believe everyone can get got no matter what. So, I wish they would have stuck to some like of the controversies to make it more shocking. But yeah, I think it was just like a basic good quality horror film, but not necessarily like, I like a lot of the shots, the camera work and stuff like that was pretty good. So there's a lot of stuff that you can like with it. But yeah, as far as just characters and stuff, I didn't too much care for. But that's just my take on it, my review on it. I do say go watch it. It was interesting. I am going to watch and do a review on Arcadian, the one with Nicolas Cage. That film. I am going to try to do a review on that as well. But yeah, because that's another horror film that is supposed to be really, really good. So I'm going to try my best to do a review and everything on that as soon as I can. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this. If y'all watched the film this weekend, let me know how y'all felt about it. If y'all felt the same or not. But yeah, thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. I really do appreciate it. Please do take care of yourselves and each other. Peace, geekdom.